I got saved. Hello everyone. My name is Nathan. I would like to share with you all my salvation testimony, gifting story. I got saved at 6 years old, but back before I got saved, I was really getting attacked by the enemy whenever I would go to bed at night. I would sometimes see demons in the form of snakes crawling around my bed on the floor, which scared me. I would be crying and calling for my parents. The one time when my mum came in the room, she began to pray over me, and she asked God to cast those demons back to the pits of hell. And as my mum would pray, I would begin to see the snakes disappear into the floor, which meant they were being sent back to hell. I also would have really bad nightmares, the kind of nightmare that was more than just a nightmare. The devil was involved with it. It was kind of nightmare no kid like me should ever have. It was so bad the one time I couldn't even wake up from the dream. My parents would come in the room and shake me, and they couldn't wake me up from it. So my parents began to pray over me, and then I began to wake up. I tried to explain the dream to my parents, but wasn't able to. The dream was too difficult and horrible to explain. I don't even think I've remembered what the dream was about when I woke up. Eventually, I ended up being afraid every night to go to bed. I eventually started listening to VeggieTales songs while sleeping in my room to help calm my fear. Sometimes my dad would stay in my room until I fell asleep, and then he would go in his own room to go to bed after I would fall asleep. One time my parents were sharing the gospel on the streets of Lancaster City, PA, and I was along with them in a baby stroller, while my parents were sharing the gospel with people, and people were getting saved. My parents noticed that me and another young kid that were in the baby strollers were staring up at the sky. My parents told me they asked me, "What are you looking at?" And I answered. And I said, "There are hundreds and thousands, 5 sneaky snakes in the sky, and they're being struck down by lightning and being put into cages and being taken away." The other kid was not able to explain what he saw. He was too young, and I believe what I was seeing is a glimpse of the supernatural war that goes on the day that I got saved. I was 6 years old. My dad came into my room one night and asked me if I wanted to be saved. He explained the gift of salvation to me, and I said yes. After that time, I would still see demons every now and then, but they were much further away, about whole entire football field length away, and they were in the form of snakes anymore. The one looked like a huge Bigfoot, gorilla standing 12 feet tall, and I wasn't afraid anymore of them, and the nightmares stopped too. I would still have dreams, but they were good dreams one time in our house. This is not a dream, this actually happened. There were 3 guardian angels standing in the corners of the house. When my parents asked me questions about, I said some of our guardian angels look like they need a doctor. Then my parents asked me to ask them what their names were. Whenever I was about ready to ask them that, they left. Then for a couple of years I didn't see anything then, whenever I was around 12 or 13 years old. I woke up one morning to get a drink of water. At the sink, I looked out the window, and I was thinking to myself, what in the world is that out there on top of a tree stump by the neighbor's house? It was a demon that I could see through, and it had ram's horns on the top of its head. And I got out the binoculars to get a closer look at it. When I tried to look at it through the binoculars, my eyes began to hurt. And it didn't like the fact that I was able to see it from the house. When I would move to the left or to the right in the kitchen, it would move back and forth like it wanted to get away from me. We eventually prayed for it to be taken away, but it didn't go away right away. It slowly faded away day by day and got smaller. Sometimes my dad would go outside and play electric guitar. Loud playing Christian song, did not like that very much. The next day after I got saved when I was 6, we went to a store, and a lady came up to me and said, "I feel like I'm supposed to give you money," she said. But she didn't know why she felt like that. My parents told her I got saved since the age of 13. I haven't seen any more demons or angels, but I feel as we get closer and closer to the end times, I may begin to see more demons and angels again. If the Lord allows it, I feel that as we get closer and closer to the end, times other people's guess will begin to work in ways that they never had before. And for those that don't realize what their gifts are, will begin to use them also. This is my salvation testimony, gifting story. We are not saved by good deeds and works, but by having a personal relationship with Jesus and accepting the free gift of salvation.